Rebecca, hey, congratulations on Traumatica this time around.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You know what? You're very good at this, but tell us what drew you to this project?
Yeah, so of course, working with Max and Pierre again, I worked with them on Two Witches. And so when they approached me with the script, I knew it was going to be something wild and crazy, and I knew I was going to be in from the beginning. And I was right. The script was wild and crazy. But what really drew me to the project was Abigail. She has such a transformation within the film, not just physically, but also emotionally. And she's not just a villain. I love that when I was first reading the script, I was like, okay, she's the bad guy, she's evil, she's doing all these horrible things. But then there's a beautiful turn and you figure out why she's doing the things she's doing. And then maybe you have I felt some sympathy for her and I, got emotional reading it in terms of what happens to her in the end and knowing that this poor girl is just going through literal hell. And she wants to protect her family. Her sister is everything to her, and she's willing to go to the lengths she's goes to protect her. And I thought that was really sad. And I wanted to, see if I could explore that and bring that to life.
Now, your character Abigail here goes through, the highs and lows of emotions through this film. How do you get into this mental capacity of this character, Abigail?
As far as preparing for her, I start with because obviously I can't relate to what she's going through, thankfully. And so I start with what I can relate to. And I feel like she's someone that is, lost. And even before the film really begins, she is going through something. She feels very alone, feels very not seen, feels very lost. And I feel like I can relate to those feelings. I feel like a lot of us can in some points in our life. And so I start there and find my way into her that way. And then, of course, what is different about her and what's happening that I can't relate to. And then, on the day on set, Pierre and Max create such a beautiful, safe environment that I kind of go off into a corner and I get into my place. And then they're like, let me know when you're ready to go. And I let them know. And then we just explore and play and uh, try to try to get as much as we can out of it. And if I ask for another take, they'll give me another one. And it's so much. I hate to say fun to do this film because it's not necessarily fun in the moment. The places I have to go to are not fun. It is rewarding at the end of the day. It is um, great to see it come together and to work with them. And I feel like if I can elicit any kind of emotion from people watching, then I've done my job.
I know it's as a viewer watching some of these scenes such as the monster assault or body mutilation. I mean it's as a viewer, I guess that's why we love horror because we have to like try to turn ourselves away. But in the case you said Max created like basically a safe area for you to actually work. How do you put yourself in that comfort zone so this way it doesn't get to you?
Oh yeah, that's a great question. It's kind of hard to describe. I feel like I go into this other kind of place where sometimes I feel like I'm like floating above my body. It's really hard to explain. Um, and I know that wherever I go to, I am safe and nothing is going to happen. And I can come out of it at the end of the day, even if it takes me, maybe a couple minutes to like fully come out. It's just because it's interesting because your mind knows it's play, your mind knows it's fake, but your body doesn't always know that. And so I feel like I've been an actor for a long enough time that sometimes my body will try to protect me because it knows that this is fake and it will try to reject the emotion, it'll reject what's happening, and I have to kind of sometimes trick it into going along with me because I'm like, no, this is what I need for the day. You can't shut down. I need tears. I need whatever. So don't fail me. And that's always an interesting process to figure out how to like, okay, body, like do what you need to do. I don't know. It's a hard thing to describe. It's just like an actor thing where I'm on set and I'm in the makeup and I'm in the costume, and I'm in the situation and I'm working with Sean O'Brien, who worked with me on The Veil, of course, and he's so lovely and generous and kind, and I just am able to look at him and feel all the things, and they just, I don't know, I've done all my work ahead, so on set I just feel very sensitive to what's happening, and I try to just, go with what is happening, if that makes sense. It's a hard process to describe.
One of the specific scenes I didn't know how to react was a toe sucking scene, and I'm not even sure if those were actually your toes. Hopefully, it
They
was
were
a
not. They were not. They were.
but it was just one of those scenes like going, gosh, I wonder if when they did that take was that kind of like weird or was that kind of hilarious in its own way?
So yeah, it's funny when you ask that. So of course, when I'm filming my part of it, it's like horrifying for the character, of course. And but we do have a really great video of when we were filming Sean doing it, where we called cut, and like we're all in the background, just kind of like, because Sean is amazing. He just went for it. He went for it, balls to the wall. He did not hold back, which was amazing because it's such a weird request, but also what a that's just the brilliance of Pierre. Like, what a amazing way of like waking up, waking up somebody is just like the most horrific thing and weird. And that's why I love him, because his mind is so uh crazy in that way. And it's like, what a genius way to do it, because there's a million other ways you could have done it. And I feel like that's such a weird, odd thing, and it adds so much like to the movie. Yeah.
Must be a relief then it wasn't your toes in real life.
It was not. Yes, it was not. It was a fake foot, for his sake and for mine.
Now, Rebecca, I have to admire, in your films, you are not afraid of getting down and dirty. I mean, how adventurous are you as an actress? Like you love these type of projects and sitting in, whether the makeup chair or basically they're throwing stuff at you.
As long as I'm not going to get hurt physically, I will do anything, pretty much anything, and that we, of course, that we talk about ahead of time, and we make sure everything is safe. But I love to explore things I haven't done. If we can, like I said, elicit some kind of reaction from an audience, good or bad, laughing or crying or scared or something, then I feel like I've done what I'm supposed to be doing. And I feel like if I'm going to sign on to a project like this, I need to be open and willing to at least try whatever Pierre has asked. And I trust him that he's not going to ask me to do anything that would be not against boundaries. He would never ask me to do something that wouldn't fit the character. And it's funny because that particular scene you're talking about with the toes and all the goo and everything, he's like, I know this, on the day, he was like, I know this is gonna suck. I know this is not gonna be a fun shoot, part of the shoot, but like, just trust me on this. And I'm like, all right, well, we'll do it. So we did it. And then now, a couple weeks ago, he's like, aren't you so glad? It looks amazing. And, they're using that still in so many different areas. And I'm like, yes, it was totally worth it. It was totally worth a little bit of discomfort, for a few minutes to get an amazing shot. And I try to be as open as possible to, doing that, because then I get to grow as a human and as an actor.
You know what? That's what admire you about an actress in this horror genre. But one more thing before I let you go, because like after Two Witches or Traumatica, sitting in that makeup chair, where they basically transform your face into something entirely different. From your perspective, when they finally transform your face and you get to see your face in the mirror, what kind of reactions do you have between like Two Witches and Traumatica or any other projects?
I was like, oh, okay, here we go. Because I couldn't really see the process as they were doing it. And our shout out to our makeup artist, KO, because she's just incredible. And all the boils are, individually placed, and she's got to, match that every single day. And she's just amazing. It's funny because after a while, I forget I'm in it. And so when a new person comes on set or a new actor or someone that hasn't seen me in it yet, and their reaction is like, and then I forget, I'm like, oh yeah, like that's why they're looking at me like strangely. So that, but that helps. It all helps get into the character. It all helps build her. It all helps give her the visually interesting look that she has. And I think that's it's a face that you kind of can't forget.
Well, you know what? You do have a face that you can't forget, and that's why it's always a pleasure and speaking with you, Rebecca. Keep on doing what you do because you know what? You have a fun job. So
Thank you.
let's
Thank you so much. Thank you for
let
watching and supporting the film. We really appreciate it.
no, appreciate you carrying this conversation with us. Let's do this again.
Yeah, always, always.